All right, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Ernest Dove. It's that time again for another minor league weekly update report. Let's get down to it. I want to talk about again every affiliate all the time, as I do. Starting with AAA, Dom Hamill had one of those Dom Hamill starts. 4 innings, 4 earned runs, 7 Ks. His season ERA is 4.20, 420. Light went up if you got it. It's hard to tell what you want to do with Dom Hamill. I know a lot of people are discussing things like maybe he should be a reliever. Probably something to talk about. He's still starting, obviously, at the AAA level. But now, with all these promotions going on, it's going to be interesting to see how much room there's going to be going forward for guys like Dom Hamill in the rotation in Syracuse. Uh, from the hitting perspective, there's Drew Gilbert. He's settling in pretty nicely as far as the season slash lines now at AAA. 273, 414 on base percentage, 409 slugging, 823 OPS. He hit his first AAA home run this week, and he's mostly playing center field. Like pretty much every AAA start that he's had has been in center field. He was maybe playing a little bit, a couple of games here and there in the corners in his rehabs in St. Lucie, but all center field, which obviously is a need. So you might as well leave him there. He is definitely good, adequate, playable in center field. It's going to be interesting to see if he keeps staying there every single game. Something's going to come up. Let's see if they give him a shot. Just talk about more of the pitching. There's Brandon Sproat, obviously the top prospect in the organization. This week he had 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Still hasn't been very sexy. A lot of people want huge numbers from Sproat. Doesn't mean necessarily, hey, maybe some of the up and down stuff, is that why he didn't get the debut over at Tidwell? I mean, hey, things work in the schedules either way, pitching routines, but it's going to be interesting to see how much longer you wait on Sproat. Do you still kind of wait till June, July? Is he going to make that debut either way, one way or another? It's probably pretty obvious. The stuff is still pretty magnificent. You might as well still keep an eye on it. Then there were the two debuts, two AAA debuts. One for Yoander Suarez. He got shellacked. So I'll go ahead and be honest about that. He made his debut in Syracuse, 3 innings, 8 hits, 8 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Rough outing. Because it's me and I'm a prospect hugger, I want to just blame the baseballs because as far as I know, the AAA baseballs are different from all the lower minor leagues. AAA and the major leagues use the same baseballs. All the lower levels, some kind of thing with the baseballs. I don't know, slicker, this, that, different to the touch. I want to use that as an excuse for his rough outing. And then on that same token, another guy made his AAA debut this week and basically pitched the game of his life. So you can basically throw out everything I just said. My favorite lefty in the organization, almost behind Zach Thornton, I still love him, Felipe De La Cruz, made his AAA Syracuse debut. And the man had everything. 6 innings, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 0 walks for Felipe De La Cruz. If you've been following me for a long time, that alone means everything. Oh, and he had 9 strikeouts. Oh, and he topped 97 miles an hour on his fastball as a lefty. And the most ridiculous stat of the night of his career, 53 of 70 pitches were for strikes. I don't even know if he's done this as a professional, but he did it in Syracuse in his first outing. And again, lefty pitcher who throws 95 to 97. This is going to be fascinating. I'm going to overhype it because that's what I do. But first things first, let's see what he does in his second outing. But that was amazing. I do know from talking to the staff, he implemented a new two-seamer that he basically dominates mostly against opposing lefties. Maybe that's one of the keys to success beyond the obvious control in this outing, and command is going to take him everywhere. But maybe the two-seamer, along with some of his filthy breaking stuff, already looks fantastic in AAA. Lowering down to AA, looks like Jack Wenninger is human. 4 2/3, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 Ks this week. His ERA balloons all the way to 2.92. I still like a lot about Jack Wenninger. Speaking with the staff as well, it looks like his fastball velocity continues to rise. We're talking 95, 96, 97 now as a topping. For someone like this is fantastic. This is great news, even for player development purposes. I'm not throwing out the one outing, but again, he dominated all the way up until this outing. Fastball velocity is really high right now. These are all really good signs still for Jack Wenninger. So let's see how he does, next week and the week after that. Hitting wise, obviously, there's going to talk about Jet Williams. He's still kind of cruising along. I don't really talk a lot about him throughout the week, but he needs to be brought up. For the season now, 295, 360 on base percentage, 513 slugging, 873 OPS. Some of you have been asking, and it's like I don't really have the information and intel on it, but he's been playing pretty much exclusively at shortstop. And I know everyone's like, move him to center field, maybe even second base before Acuna just took off in the majors. But he's still playing middle infield, mostly short. We're going to have to see how this plays out for the next coming weeks, the months. Maybe the joke is on me where I'm talking about as the prospect hugger. Is he going to be getting set up to be traded? One of those value things, right? Everyone, prospect-wise, GMs and front offices, they always want guys to be basically playing center field and shortstop. It's probably where they get their most value, maybe third base, depending on power in the trade packages. So it's interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, but he's playing a lot of short for a guy that doesn't really have a lot of room right now. Another guy I want to talk about, he's had an extremely slow start to the season at this Double-A show-me level. The really talented Nick the Flash Morabito. He's been struggling the whole year, but I wanted to bring him up because now he has hits in 4 of the 5 games that he played this week. So again, this is a weekly report. Nick Morabito has hits in almost every game this week. I want to see how that continues to progress. Again, he's the speed demon. Doesn't even really have any stolen bases recently. Even some of the hits, I guess, in the scenarios, he hasn't been able to take second, which he usually will all the time. So let's keep an eye on Nick Morabito to see if the hit streaks continue to kind of, go up and up. I talked about him again a few seconds ago, but one of my favorites, Zach Thornton, made his Double-A debut, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs that were both scored in the 5th inning, 0 walks and 2 Ks. Still doing really good. Again, he was the player of the month in his league in high A. And now he makes his debut. And again, 0 walks now at the higher level of the A+, the high A level. And Double-A after dominating high A. So now he's at the show me level. He's still throwing strikes with the 0 walks. The velocity kind of had ups and downs, I think, this week. The weather was kind of weird. So let's see how those things progress. Because again, now he's been increasing his velocity this season. It's been going up to 93, 94, maybe even touching 95. This is very exciting stuff for Zach Thornton. And again, keep throwing strikes. He gave up those 2 runs in his final inning of work, which is why he got removed after 4 1/3. It happens. I think it was one of his highest pitch counts of the year as well. So some of these guys, even like Santucci, they've been this week, they've been throwing the most total pitches in one outing. So maybe it's one of those things now into May. As we go forward now, let's see how many more pitches and then innings these guys start to eat now for the rest of the year. Another guy who made his debut, and he made 2 appearances this week in Double-A, the flamethrower Ryan Lambert. 2 games combined for 3 innings, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 4 walks, and 4 Ks. Ks make sense. The walks, in high A, he didn't really have any walks for the year in his 4 or 5 outings. So this is a 1 outing-ish thing here, 1 or 2 with these 4 walks. So maybe let's keep an eye on that. Now, again, we're jumping up a level here. Talked about Thornton going all strikes still in Double-A, but the Double-A and Triple-A hitters, they're more patient, more veteran type guys. You're going to have guys in there, not just early, but even mid to late 20s at this level. So it's going to be, seeing how he adjusts to the level. The other guy who's still dominating is Douglas Oriana. For the season now, 12 1/3 innings, 5 hits, only 1 run allowed this season so far, only 2 walks and 18 Ks. Again, 12 1/3 18 Ks. That's a high K rate. I'm almost throwing that out the door. I care about the 2 walks because Douglas Oriana is one of those pitchers in the Mets system. Command has always kind of been a thing I've been worried about for the last 1 or 2 years, even talking last year to the coaches. I'm always worried about his command, and they're always just telling me it's coming, it's coming. He's a hard worker, player development. Maybe there's a lab joke in here, but this year, that's the key. I'm told that one of the keys is his wipeout slider this year, which looks fantastic. So between that and the better command, this is what we're seeing from a guy like Douglas Oriana. And again, it's 12 innings. He's even eaten multiple innings in some of these outings. Could be one of those kind of relievers, but it'll give you more than one. This is another one of those guys you want to throw in, like the future Buteau, the future Nunez, the future Max Kranick. Maybe Douglas Oriana can fit into that mold with this command if it can stay this way. Another guy who pitched really well this week, not necessarily in the box scores, but Jonathan Pintaro, 4 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, and 6 Ks in his appearance this week, in his start. One of the things the coaches liked about it, first and foremost, I believe he topped 98. So he's still topping 97, 98 miles an hour. This is really exciting stuff because Pintaro has some deadly kind of breaking balls anyway, too. So I like that he's hitting 97, 98. I'll take the 0 walks all day long for his kind of, ability and stuff. I want to see how he does now in Double-A for the next couple of weeks. Then there's the guy who apparently no longer is in Double-A. I see you, Daniel Wexler, reported about Nolan McLean getting promoted to Triple-A. So maybe in his last outing in Double-A, he pitched 6 shutout innings to lower his season Double-A ERA to 1.37. That's ridiculous. The wiffle ball is still wiffle balling. It's pretty fantastic to see what he can do. Anytime I talk to the coaches, even the last couple of weeks, they just feel that the sky is still the limit for Nolan McLean. So I don't even know what the bottom is or what the top is. I think he hasn't hit the top yet. So this is exciting stuff to kind of see how he moves along now. I want to see how he does in AAA with the new baseball. If that's going to be the excuse, I'm going to give it, and you know it. The last pitcher I want to talk about in Double-A is my guy, Jonah Tong. I've been hyping him up a whole lot since last year. He's had some up and down outings this year in Double-A, and then this week he had a Jonah Tong outing. 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, Jonah Tong, 8 strikeouts. So that's what we're looking at with Jonah Tong. The K rate has been extremely high all season so far. He's one of the leaders in the league in strikeouts or Ks per 9. This is still exciting stuff for Jonah Tong, who still has elite level type stuff. I want to continue to see now with all these guys, now that it's May into June, I want to see how many innings he continues to eat per outing. I want to see if he can get to the 5-6 range, obviously. But I want to see how high the K rate can go. It's like 14, 15, 16 strikeouts per 9. It's ridiculous. As we head to the high A, one of the most consistent hitters in the entire Mets farm system is a healthy Jacob Reimer. I know I was talking to you guys about last year with the lost season. Jacob Reimer is back, and he's been incredible. The slash lines are 327, 393, 634, and a 1.027 OPS. That's for the season, not just the week. He's been very steady, very consistent. I even watched some of the games yesterday, and he even made a couple of really good defensive plays. I know it's one of the things you always worry about with a guy like this, high OBP guy. I didn't know what his power would look like up the levels, and here he is with a 1.027 with a 3 home run game. Kind of throws out the water my idea of maybe he's not a huge power guy. We'll see how that progresses up the levels, but that was exciting. Another guy who's really hot right now is the outfielder, Carson Bench, the big top draft pick from last year. He had 3 multi-hit games this week, so it jumped his average for the season to 280, and he's got a 385 OBP because he's been walking every game pretty much this year. Even when he wasn't hitting, he was walking. 402 slugging, 787 OPS. Again, even those numbers are pretty good, but they're low because of the slow start. So it's more about the walks. But now he's got the 3 multi-hit games. I want to see how he continues to progress. The other guy was just, I'm not talking about him, and he's like basically the best hitter in the league almost. Starling Mercado, the outfielder. He's hitting 360 in high A right now. He's with a 450 on base percentage. It's like we don't talk about him enough. I don't have a bunch of intel to like, oh man, he's this high draft pick or high AFA. Nothing. He's just a guy who's just hitting everything right now. Doesn't even have a pro history of being this good in a slash line. So maybe I'm going to try to temper some expectations for a couple of more weeks, but that's ridiculous. Speaking of which, on the pitching side of that, there's a pitcher named Anthony Nunez. How's he doing, Ernest, in high A for the entire season combined? Well, he's thrown 12 and a third innings. He's allowed one hit in 12 and a third innings. No runs, 4 walks, 20 strikeouts. I believe he's 23 years old. Looks like he has absolutely no business being in high A right now, but there's been a lot of movement recently. I don't know what else he could do different, but he might as well just keep doing this for a while, see if he gets the AA outing very soon, hopefully. And almost same goes for one of my other favorites, who's a little bit older as well, 23, 24 years old, right-hander Justin Lawson. I really liked him last year, talking to the coaches and say he's pretty lights out. He's really good for what he does. It's still early, 6 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 0 walks in 6 2/3 innings, and 6 strikeouts. I want to see if Lawson is the kind of guy that Stearns is going to eventually move to AA. We need to see him there at this level. I believe he can pretty much do this all year in high A. I believe he got a delayed start to this season. Probably another reason, obviously, to start in Brooklyn. But he really shouldn't be here. I want to see, just with health and consistency, get him to AA. Let's see what we have. And then there's my guy. I've loved him for at least 2 years. Same thing. Saul Garcia. He has incredible stuff. Coaches absolutely love him as a human and as a work ethic. Player development, still, we don't know what to think. So Saul Garcia, 6 appearances. What I really like is that he's a reliever only now. Thank God. I know a lot of these guys, they kept trying to eat 2, 3, 4 innings. Wasn't working out for some of these guys. I want them to transition to the pen. Looks like they've done it with Saul Garcia. 6 innings, 1 hit this season. So in his 6 appearances, he's only given up a hit in 1 of them. 0 earned runs, and then here we go. 8 walks, 11 strikeouts in the 6 innings. This is what we got with Saul Garcia. So what I've been worried about for the last 2 years. Definitely something to keep an eye on. But again, they love him. They love his breaking stuff. Can the command be consistent? One of my other favorites, one of those guys now who I believe this is his 2nd year post Tommy John that I've been talking about because I've loved him since he was 18, 19 in low A. Joel Diaz looks like he's having the season of his life right now. He pitched 5 innings this week, 1 earned run, 0 walks in his 5 innings and 6 strikeouts. His season ERA now in Brooklyn is 0.44. This is something I've been dreaming about for Joel Diaz. I used to love him a couple of years ago. I was worried about some of the command, fastball command. Can his breaking ball get over enough? It sure is this year. So keep an eye on Joel Diaz because, again, I had him as a top 20 prospect a couple of years ago. And then Tommy John, everything else. Is he now back in the fold for top 20 prospect rankings? I hope so. Another reliever, the lefty reliever, Ryan Ammons. I'm going to put him in the Justin Lawson category. I think Ryan Ammons, who got a delayed start to this year, I think, has no business being in high A. He belongs in AA. But he's still here for now. And his 5 appearances, 5 1/3, 0 hits. So he hasn't given up a hit since he's made his debut for the season in high A this year. No earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. We just need a healthy Ryan Ammons to pitch. I want him in AA like yesterday. I don't even know if there's room for all these guys, but Ryan Ammons, Justin Lawson, Saul Garcia with command, they all belong in AA to kind of see what we really, really have at that level. I want to bring up Jonathan Santucci. He's had an up and down season. Haven't been able to talk about him a lot. This week, he pitched 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Again, kind of up and down. The coaches and staff still love him a lot. He's still a 95-plus arm. I want to see how things kind of settle in for Santucci as the season goes along. But again, I want to mention the outing. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't electric. The K rate wasn't super high. Everyone's into K rate for 4 1/3, only 3 strikeouts. But his stuff is really good. I want to see how it goes in the next couple of weeks. Another guy who pitched really well this week in Brooklyn, Noah Hall, some guy really learned little about last year. Tried to ask about him in camp. Kind of was worded as maybe one of those surprise guys to try to think about what ifs. And he pitched 5 scoreless this week. His season ERA is 1.88. So Noah Hall is right on track, having a fantastic start to his season in Brooklyn. And then I want to just talk about the fireballer, Dylan Ross. Man, he is wild. Dang. He's the guy that can throw 99 to 100. He could also walk people. 9 2/3, 8 walks, and 18 strikeouts. Here's what we got going on right now for a reliever. This sounds exciting. This sounds like something that's going to make your heart race in the major leagues one day. But you can't teach how hard he throws. But I want to bring it up. Again, 9 2/3, 18 strikeouts. Why don't I just erase what I said about the walks? But that's going to be an interesting guy to keep an eye on. Because, again, a guy like Dylan Ross, just to get his feet wet, because he's barely pitched in pro ball, if he can just eat innings for like a few more weeks, he's a guy where he doesn't belong in A ball either. He needs to go join the fireballer Ryan Lambert in AA now. But first things first, you got to lower the walks. I want to end it, of course, with my low A St. Lucie Mets. One of my favorite kind of junk throwers. I think he throws a bunch of pitches. Irving Cota. And he's kind of like a long man. He starts, doesn't start, but he eats like 3 innings an outing, 6 appearances, 18 innings in 6 appearances. Only 7 walks allowed in 18. 1 earned run for the season. 1 earned run in 18 innings, 4 walks, 11 strikeouts. Not a big K rate guy so far. And again, he throws a lot of junk. I like it. He throws a lot of curves, a lot of pitches with movement. He's not always just a fastball guy. He's probably even a secondary dominant pitcher from what I'm seeing in some of the games. But you can't, the slash lines speak for themselves. I want to bring up 18-year-old Jeremy Rodriguez from the Tommy Pham trade. Thank you very much. The numbers aren't gaudy, but I want to bring it up because of 2 things. Well, maybe a couple. One, he's 18 years old in low A. That's a big deal to me. Secondly, 382 on base percentage. And that's because of 17 walks versus 16 strikeouts. I'll take this all day. Right now, he's only 18. The power isn't there, but the parks are huge anyway. The weather's kind of sucks. It's always hot. The wind doesn't often blow out. I'll take 382 on base percentage from an 18-year-old in low A all day. At this level, that's impressive to have that many walks. The other guy, I've been kind of ignoring him the whole year because he's been struggling. Simon Juan woke up this week. Thank the Lord. 19-year-old Simon Juan has 4 multi-hit games this week out of the 5 that he played for St. Lucie. That's how you want to do it. He's creeping back over 200 as an average. He was hitting like a buck something for the whole season. He just blew up, the young outfielder. I want to see how this is going to progress now going forward. Again, he's only 19. He can spend the whole year in low A. Then speaking of fireballers, why not go with the guy who threw 104.5 miles an hour? Raymond Gomez. His season ERA in St. Lucie right now is 0.93. He's pitched 9 2/3 innings with 14 strikeouts. It's always going to be about worrying about his arm. Everyone worries, but again, he's already been injured. So let's just try to think of it as now he's fully healthy. He just happens to throw 100 to 104. I just want to see how many innings he keeps eating. It looks like he keeps pitching 2+ innings an outing. I want him to be a 1-inning guy and just try to keep the command, right. I want to see how that goes going forward. Another pitcher, I need to give a shout out to this pitcher. My goodness. Edgar Moreta had a slow start to the season. Now for his last 3 outings, including this week, they're all scoreless 5-inning outings. So now in his last 3 starts combined, 15 innings, no runs. So this is something to keep an eye on. I believe he's about 22 years old, not too young, not too old for the level. I want to see what happens with Edgar Moreta because for this kind of scoreless for that long, that's pretty dominant. And even for him in April, already pitching 5 innings per outing, he's going longer than most of the pitchers in this farm system. Another guy who went over 5, it actually happens in the minors sometimes. Nate Dome, again, another one of those guys. I was told from the coaches, even from when they drafted him, there was some stuff about health, even from the day they drafted him. So they were being careful with him to kind of start him slow. And here he is this season looking fantastic. 5 1/3 shutout with 6 Ks this week. His season ERA is 2.22. He could be an exciting surprise player development lab arm. There's many of them. He's one of them. When I try to ask, I'm like, I don't know about high ceiling, low ceiling. They just like his potential kind of guy. Speaking of which, the guy who showed up for the first time this season in pro ball in low A is Tanner Witt, who I think he made a brief appearance after the draft last year. We haven't seen him since this week. He made one outing, 2 1/3, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. I'm excited. Even the staff in spring, talking to one of the coaching staff, they were like, I'm excited to just look at Tanner Witt. So they just wanted to see what they have in this guy, and he finally got back on a mound for this season, and that's a good start. Now I want to see how they continue to build with him. And again, even in the St. Lucie, a lot of the levels is so much piggybacking going on. So I want to see how many innings he's going to pitch every outing. Is he going to start? Will he always come into the game and pitch 2 or 3? That's something to keep an eye on. Another thing to keep an eye on is me in these videos. I'm going to try to keep making as many as possible. As long as you guys, please keep subscribing. Please click in the likes. Make the comments. I'm going to try to be all over it. I'm here if you need me. Check me out on Twitter. And hey, support your local prospect hugger.